on metal.
What is going on, everybody? I am your host, Riley McShane of the Metal Blade Live Series podcast, here with a very, very special guest this week, all the way from some fucking place in outer space. Blöthar, how the fuck you doing there, bud?
Antarctica. Right, yeah, but not from outer space anymore, unfortunately. Originally, but
Nah, it's been too
yeah,
long.
stuck in Antarctica now. Look, Antarctica looks like a paradise, doesn't it? It's great.
You'd think so, right? It's like it's all barren. There's nothing there. It's just fucking penguins and shit. It's like all the best parts of Earth culminated into one. It's just it's colder than it looks, I guess.
Well, actually, I'm in the worst. All the worst parts of Earth culminated into one, which is Sarasota, Florida.
Oh
I
my
swam
god.
here from Antarctica to take some time off here, and this is what you got. The worst place on Earth, Florida.
It's a pretty terrible place to come up on shore. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, of all the shores in the world, that had to be that one. So yeah, it's Rio de Janeiro, even Madagascar. A little bit closer, but you went all the way up to Florida. It's just fucking. It's mind-boggling. It's
mind-boggling.
All right, so. How are you finding 2020 so far? How is this year treating GWAR? I mean, do you guys even have to quarantine? What's the current situation? How does it affect your plans for Earth?
Well, it's not really our I mean, we're not vulnerable to this disease, but nonetheless, we spent the first part of the quarantine just huddled in Antarctica, surrounded by in a giant toilet paper fort, surrounded by hand sanitizer. But at some point we figured we'd be just like all the other people and say, fuck it, man, this thing's not really happening. Yeah, we're just gonna walk around, do whatever the fuck we want. So that's what we're doing.
I mean, that seems to be the general attitude towards it,
Yeah. No, I mean, but it doesn't bother us. It doesn't bother us, except for the fact that we can't be, we can't, well, it's not like we like to be around one another anyway. So that's not a worry. But we would like to get our hands around some human necks and throttle the life out of them. And we haven't been able to do that because we've been taking a break from all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Touring and what.
I mean, it's tough when everyone's fucking out here dying on their own. It fucking, it limits how many people you can really get out there and just fucking, anyway.
Eat it done.
So, but that's not to say that you guys didn't play any shows at all. You did some drive-in shows. I mean, that had to be an interesting experience. I mean, I know seeing people roll up in cars and it's like the most advanced version of like the first 10 rows fucking rain poncho that I'm sure you see all the time at your normal by the book performances. But now there's people sitting behind these big metal fucking contraptions. Are they did you spray them anyway? Were people staying in their cars? Do you prefer beeping to clapping?
The interesting thing was like normally at a show you look out there's just a bunch of gross humans everywhere. It was nice to see some attractive creatures in the audience for once. Those were some good-looking vehicles out there, and sexy, man. I mean, so like that was fun. Cars ultimately much better looking than humans, and really it was kind of like, I don't know. I mean, it was like like an old-fashioned sort of creature feature, I think, but instead of a movie, it was GWAR playing. I thought it was a lot of fun. I expected it to turn into a demolition derby during the first song, but amazingly, people stayed in their cars, and we managed to hose them down as best we could. I think they went through a lot of windshield wiper fluid.
What a bunch of cowards, though. I mean, really, like, how are you not gonna start crashing your car into other cars at a fucking GWAR concert? Like, who's really got out there in their Lamborghinis? I mean, and even still, I feel like that person should then be the target.
Now, that was an interesting thing. Is like, what kind of cars do GWAR fans drive? People showing up in like, a lot of people riding scooters and 3-wheeled bikes like the Amish people ride.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
crazy.
gonna say, was there anyone on motorcycles? I mean, technically, you can drive that in to a drive-in.
I didn't see any motorcycles. I just saw a lot of Geo Metros.
Just a bunch
a lot
of
of big
fucking...
old there was one particularly good-looking 4-wheel drive vehicle that was over on one side, a green truck with a big old muffler.
He probably would have given it to you.
Lights. Yeah, quite an exhaust system on that one.
Yeah, he probably would have given it to you if you had just, attempted to take it by force. Usually works. Well, I mean, it's so interesting seeing the landscape of performing change and seeing, all these drive-in concerts and shit happen. It's like I just saw another one of these fucking dumb human bands, the Flaming Lips, whose name is extremely... You'd think they'd be a lot more brutal of a band with a name like that, but they're not. Yeah. But they just played a show where people were wearing like the big man condoms, the big like full-sized human human rubbers, and I don't know, man. I feel like it could work for metal. I mean, I feel like just
everybody in the audience was wearing a body condom. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. Everyone in the audience was just in a gigantic fucking bubble. And so it just...
that cantankerous bastard that runs the Flaming Drips, he's nothing but a pain in the ass. But let me tell you something. That's a pretty good idea. At least those guys bother to try to put on a show. I mean, it's not brutal, but, if you're going to make shitty music, you might as well look good doing it.
That's right. I just can't... I can imagine the pure chaos that would ensue at a GWAR concert where everyone's running around in rolling human-sized condoms, because it's like they're all going to get covered in shit after 10 minutes, and then at that point it's just they're just running blind, being blasted in the ears. Hopefully they all have knives.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man, you had me at hello with this one.
Yeah.
You had me at body condom. I want it.
Well, it's been done. You can break into the Flaming Lips guy's house and accost him at his bedside and tell him, demand the logistics of how something like that happened. So it's been a few years since your last album, The Blood of the Gods.
Yes.
Blood of Gods came out. Are you guys working on new material? Are you much akin to everyone else?
We're working on new material. Yeah, we are. We're absolutely working on new material. It involves talking about working on new material.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that.
That would be the best record, honestly.
Right.
Really just take a fucking one of those wrecking balls to the fourth wall of music. So yeah, I mean, I was gonna ask you to tell us about the direction of the new stuff, but it seems like the direction is pretty straightforward.
It's no, I mean, we've been working on some stuff. It's been, I'll tell you one thing. A lot of the stuff that we were working on in January and at the end of when we wound up our touring, we took a little break, and then all of a sudden the world went completely off the rails. So we had some songs that just they don't make sense now. We got to sort of rethink things. It's a different world out there. I wonder if other people are going through that. They must be. Got a lot of material that sort of needed a refresher. I mean, I'll give you an example. We had a great song about the monuments on Monument Avenue in Richmond. We had thought of a song where the monuments come to life, and then GWAR does battle with them with an army of undead Civil War soldiers. But I mean, what we can't do that now. Everything's changed. So,
well, I mean, easy left turn. Just make it Mount Rushmore. Once they replace someone in there with Mecha Trump, then all those can just pop out of the mountain, and you guys can blow up like the monsters in Power Rangers, and there you go, fucking game match set.
Yeah, I want to be on Mount Rushmore. Would be great. Just all the GWAR guys on Mount Rushmore.
God, in a fucking
Right.
perfect
And
world.
everybody's, that's already been everybody's album cover. But man, damn it, we should have that.
Yeah. If any one
like-
band is deserving
Yeah.
of it, you know?
Yeah, just like Beat the Beatles.
Yeah.
We thought of that forever ago. And somebody took it.
What a bunch of cunts. Anyway, so so talking about old stuff, let's talk about new stuff. Let's talk about some old stuff. I'm a fucking very cogent host. This year marks 30 years since GWAR's first album on Metal Blade Records, Scumdogs of the Universe. So
That's right.
the longevity of your human slaves is pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing considering the extremely complicated production they coordinate every night, you know, even adapting to, you know, drive-in concerts and everything. I mean, how do they have this tenacity? Are the younger generations of musicians these days just too weak to do what GWAR has pulled off year after year, or what?
Look, you said it, not me, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think, you know, GWAR is an incredibly unique thing. It's a collective of artists and musicians working together to create something that's, frankly and thankfully, utterly unique. But I mean, seriously, you're not going to find a group of people that work hard, and of course they're slaves. There are ridiculous minions out there, the thralls of GWAR that are making all of this happen. But you're not going to find a group of individuals that can work like that now. Everybody wants, they want glory, they want money, they want everything fast, right? You know, GWAR is a slow bird. Boy, it's been a long, slow climb to the top, and we've settled right firmly in the middle.
Florida.
And that's hopefully that's not where we stay, but you know, at this point it's just a but yeah, I mean, that's what it is. So, you know, to answer your question, I don't know. I mean, I think that music is always going to be work in a weird sort of way, but do I see people? I mean, there's certainly bands that are working to put on a show, and there's that level of energy, and there are musicians that are just so dedicated. I mean, so there's still people that are working at it. I don't know that that people put the kind of time into and money into performance that GWAR does, though.
Yeah, that's to say the least. You know, as you know, you see it every once in a while. You see these big, great stage shows, but you know, no one else is being like, you know, first 10 rows, you know, go get tested for HIV after this show. Like, that's a GWAR specific, you know. It's a.
But that's the thing, though. And that might be part of the problem, is that people think that you have to have a lot of money, and you have to have a bunch of lights, and you have to have, you know, I mean, GWAR, and actually, ironically, having mentioned the Flaming Lips, also a band that realized early on that, you know, you can have a great stage show if you work at having a great stage show. You don't need to spend money and buy it and pay for people to make. And that's also a way that GWAR's unique, is that all of our costumes, if you will, our accoutrements, you know, these wonderful S&M harnesses that I wear, they're all made by people that are pretty much in the band. So, you know, it's not like we're paying some far away fashion designer like, I don't know, Armani. Hey, Armani, can you build me some udder cups? I'm not really doing that.
I mean, some Louis Vuitton udder cups would be pretty great, but you know, maybe someday, you know. And it's great that you mentioned S&M harnesses, because, you know, my favorite part of you know, doing these calls on Zoom is that you can only see me from the tits up, and nobody knows that I'm just, you know, naked from the waist down, wearing nothing but a chastity belt. So it's, you know, I feel like we're kind of spirit sisters in that way, you know?
Yes, I feel that too. Spirit sister.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
I also am nude from the waist down. Of course, I'm
always
receiving an at the moment. So
I've always wanted a nude from the waist down chastity belt spirit sister, and I'm glad I found one in GWAR. So we're about to unfortunately elect another president. GWAR has had long-standing relationships with many of the presidents of the United States of America. and an equal disdain for all, really. You know, I know I've noticed that you guys have a really wonderful, beautiful habit of taking the presidents on stage and gratuitously dismembering them before throwing their body parts everywhere, which is something I'm a huge fan of. I think that, you know, more bands should be dismembering presidents. But that all being said, who were some of your favorites to work with and why? Who has thus far gotten the biggest crowd reaction?
Well, I mean, you know, those are they're very different questions, sort of rolled into one.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you know, who's our favorite? I mean, I can tell you right now that yes, GWAR has we've killed a lot of presidents and even a lot of just politicians and celebrities in general. And GWAR is certainly nonpartisan in our hatred of the human race. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
But I must say that the reaction that we have gotten from Donald Trump, I mean, you know, it really seems tailor made for GWAR. This guy, just his personality, the way he carries himself, the things that he says. You know, it's a lot of fun. I mean, you know, Clinton was a good time too. I mean, you know,
Which one?
yeah. Speaking of nude from the waist down, right? But yeah, that guy knows how to party.
Hell yeah, he does.
But you know, I mean, seriously though, cigars aside, I mean, I'm telling you, Donald Trump, that's a lot of fun. And the greatest thing is that you look out in the audience, and a lot of times I think maybe some of our security, you know, they may be sort of like Trump supporters, and usually, and it's GWAR always has a very fraught relationship with the security guys that are in the front, right? Sometimes they just turn around and stare at us while we play, and then meanwhile, someone takes a head first dive right into a steel pole, and it goes all the way through their skull and out their butthole. That kind of thing happens. But then sometimes, you know, but if they're not just watching us, sometimes I look out there in the audience, and they're paying attention to it. They don't look thrilled to be there. They're covered in viscera. But then at some point, when we roll Trump out, you can see their jaws just hit the floor. It's like they were like, you know, I mean, and even it's not killing him that upsets them. It's when he gives me a blowjob. That's when they lose it. That's when they lose it.
You know, it's a fantastic phenomenon that occurs, you know, that is unfolding before me in this explanation of events, where it's like, you know, the human suffering doesn't bother me. The fucking, you know, the blood and the guts and the cum everywhere, that's fine. But whoa, bud, you crossed the line with the Trump blowjob. That's too much. Yeah. That's too, you know.
Yeah. It's always been very surprising to me, too. We just ripped the guy's guts out. He's, you know, so I don't know.
Well, I hope his penis is to scale, which is, you know, if you take,
you know, I've never seen it. It's just buried under a bunch of fat.
Yeah. So accurate then. So accurate.
Yeah.
So, you know, for aliens, I mean, not aliens anymore, but, you know, for Floridians, what's the same thing. You seem to be really savvy with all these different types of human media over the years. Yeah, you've been on television, appearing on Jerry Springer and MTV, and in comic books and movies and video games, and now you guys are on Twitter and Instagram, and it's like you're adjusting with the times better than like 90% of like the doomer boomers out there. How do you guys achieve such a mastery of these human domains? And and are you still at war with anyone on the internet? I know that, you know, there was a long-standing conflict there.
Well, we weren't at war with people on the internet. We were at war with the actual internet itself. We tried to take it off.
Yeah.
It is a thing, the internet. People kept talking about it, so we went and tried to find it. Turns out it actually does exist. It's just a big, giant troll. So I mean, we fought that, did a pretty good job with it. I don't know. I mean, you're right. GWAR. I mean, you know how tech savvy elderly people generally are. Well, GWAR. I mean, we've been around for thousands and hundreds of thousands, millions of years, millions of hundreds of thousands of years. And we don't even have thumbs. We have to have gigantic fists for fingers. So it's not like we can operate an iPhone or anything like that. So I don't know. I don't know how it happens. I mean, other people just do it for us. That's it. I just have two DAC brand canned hams for ham. So, it's great for applauding, but not so much for, playing words with friends.
I mean, I'm sure it's great for a couple other things, the old spam fist, but,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I figure since you guys mastered, intergalactic space travel, that the internet was probably not going to be a problem, especially once you accosted it in its physical form, which is, little known fact, the internet, the whole www thing, the https //www is actually an onomatopoeia for the sound that the internet troll makes when you walk up to it. It just kind of, as far as I've heard, but
I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, it's just internet stuff, man. It's
all right. Oh, so you're saying? Oh, wait a minute. The troll. Okay.
Yeah, the internet troll. That's the sound it makes. That's where yeah.
Onomatopoeia.
Did I use the right word? Onomatopoeic is a
onomatopoeia.
I don't know. Anyway,
no idea.
Moving on.
Fancy
word. Speaking of the stupid fucking internet, so live stream shows are a thing, outside of drive-in shows and bubble shows, and it seems you guys are also capitalizing on that front as well. Live stream show coming up in 2 days, on Friday, on October 30th. You guys are doing the Scumdogs XXX Live, featuring the entire Scumdogs of the Universe album from front to back, with special guests that have not yet been announced. So
that's right, front to back, literally. Yeah,
that's the best way to wipe. That's how you avoid infections.
Let me tell you something. I am getting on the back of a camel and riding up there to film this thing. I don't have any idea what it's going to be like. Who knows?
I mean,
it should be. It's got to be weird. Got to be weird.
It's gonna be for sure. I think that
no audience. I mean, I don't like humans, but I realize that they do have a purpose when they're in the audience. I mean, it'd be nice to reach out and just grab one and pop its head off like little buddy Foo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't want to see.
It's interesting. I've seen a few of these live concerts. I've participated in a few of them myself, and I find that the best way to simulate an audience is to get one of those three-way fashion mirrors and just stand in front of it, and then you just kind of it's like playing
like the ones that they have in a dressing room. When
the ones so it simulates the actual size of a metal crowd, which is about 3 people.
Hollywood and try on my panties all the time, and they have that three-way mirror. Is that what you're talking about?
It is. That's the one, the three-way mirror, the one that you can see all angles, all extremely flattering angles, and like I said, it really simulates playing at a death metal show, particularly because there's just you and 3 people. So it's very accurate. It's
absolutely. I was gonna say that really, playing in front of an empty room, it's just like the old days for GWAR.
Yeah, exactly. It really puts you back in the moment, and especially if you're playing a 30-year-old album, it should be right there. True.
Although those three-way mirrors are terrifying. Let me tell you that.
They are.
Occasionally, you can get a glimpse of infinity, and that's not somewhere I want to be. See my face forever.
I don't want to be staring into that void. I mean, sometimes I do. Let's be honest. Sometimes you want just a little peek, But as they say, if you stare at the void for too long, the void does stare back, and
Stare at the void.
My void is aggressive, so. So you can watch that at gwar.net, by the way, for those of you who I'm sure are wondering. That's where it's going to be hosted, is where you can check it out. So for now, I mean, it seems like you guys are capitalizing on every possible opportunity to continue to be a presence and assert your dominance on the earth. But how else can people support you outside of committing their mortal souls and becoming slaves to the Gwar cause?
How else can people support us? What do you mean? Like give us hugs and stuff like that? Is that what you're talking
emotional
about?
support, financial support. There's all kinds of different. It comes in many colors.
You could. I tell you what you can do, people. You can take care of yourselves. That would be wonderful. No, seriously. What I mean, go to gwar.net and buy a bunch of shit. That's what we want you to do. Just fill your house to the brim with what is that show? A hoarder's level of Gwar merchandise. Just to bury yourselves under it. That's what we want. And then call up family members to come and cry and convince you that you have to get rid of this, and then argue with them passionately that you cannot possibly give up your ballsack cozy or your odorous Pez dispenser. That's what I want to see.
I mean,
but seriously, we have this is a big year for Gwar. We got big news coming out in comics. We got big news. We have the live stream event that's coming up. We're working on a record. Just lots of stuff, and these are the only shows, by the way, of Gwar in 2020. Can you believe that? Probably for your band as well. That it's like haven't really. I don't know if you guys were out touring, but since we finished right at the end of January, no shows in 2020 really.
Yeah. No, we did the winter off thing that bands will tend to do while the big kids are out playing. All the small fries kind of hang back and write records and shit. But we did have a tour, a headliner planned for April that clearly didn't happen. And now we're trying to plan stuff as far ahead as we can. It's been let's reschedule those shows for December, and now here we are in November being like, well, that's fucking not gonna happen, so let's try to book something for March, who knows? And then that's clearly not gonna happen either. So now we're booking for like next fall as it stands, just to kind of not be caught with our dicks in our hands when touring does come back. So
you don't have your dick in your hand right now?
Well,
because I have.
I mean, touring's not coming back right now, Blöthar. Of course, I mean, that's how could I be doing? How would you expect me to do this interview without my dick in my hand? I don't.
I don't like knowing that I'm talking to someone with no dick in their hand.
Well, rest assured, and for the sake of keeping this R-rated and not NC-17 as the kids say. I can't stand up and show you the firm grasp that I have on my chastity belt right now. So I lost the key a couple weeks ago, and I live alone because I'm a metal guy, and I can't find the key to my chastity belt, and it's just made everything so uncomfortable and difficult. But I'm hoping that I'll find it. Maybe you can come over after the chat and just kind of warp over here, help me look.
Sounds like you need a hug.
I do really need a hug.
Sounds like a lonely life. A lonely life in heavy metal.
So, but that's what makes our music good, right? Is being lonely guys in chastity belts that play to three people. So we'll I have one more question for you, and obviously, since we just talked about booking things way out in advance and the uncertain forecast of the future, I'm sure that the answer for this is going to be just fantastic. But will the Gwar-B-Q ever return? I guess before you answer that, I want to say that when you were talking about the hoarders thing, it reminded me of being in the Gwar bar, which is a must go stop that I have to go to every time I'm in the Virginia area when we're on tour. So. Gwar has it is a good stop. Gwar has lots of branded events and places and things that they do, one of which being the Gwar bar, which is amazing, the other of which being the Gwar-B-Q, which for those listeners who haven't heard of the Gwar-B-Q, give us a little taste, if you will, of what goes down there.
Well, this is something that started off just as a party where we had a big trash can. We filled it full of fish bones and liquor of various kinds and mixed with Kool-Aid and hot dog juice and made a giant vat of it, and then had a bunch of friends come over to dip out Dixie cups and eat little butter cookies, and we called it a party. And then we had some rock bands play. Some of them were some pretty good rock bands, Lamb of God. So eventually we managed to move it to a couple of different places. It wound up settling at an old sort of Scooby-Doo abandoned water park for a little while, and that was fun. But now that has closed, so we've lost the venue for the Gwar-B-Q. And basically, it was just a big outdoor music festival with Gwar playing and lots of other bands out there playing, and on a couple of different stages. I think 3 different stages, and then people swimming and just to me, honestly, it just looked like a big sweaty ocean of acne and chlamydia. That's what it looked like to me. But once you've had one funnel cake, how many can you eat, really?
Turns out heaven is a place on earth.
No, yeah, that's right. Who knew? It was like the gathering of the Juggalos. It just looked like some kind of a type 2 diabetes festival. I don't know. It's a lot of insulin resistance at that place. Let me tell you.
Orthopedic socks everywhere. Yeah.
Orthopedic socks everywhere. Yeah. Even the cotton candy was sugar free.
Oh, Christ. Well, that sounds like a fucking blast, and obviously, you haven't been able to have one this year, but are you planning one for next year? Are you kind of like setting up the dominoes to be like, well, we couldn't do this shit last year, so let's make this comeback BQ really worthwhile?
Well, we're working on it. Obviously there's some problems that everyone is facing in the live music industry right now. So it gives us a chance, though, to focus on the possibility of putting together something, because we've been taking a break from it for a while, partly because we needed to we lost the venue and we needed to find another place to have it, and we wanted to grow it a little bit. So I think we're getting close to the time. I don't think 2021 is the year for it, but 2022 is looking pretty good for a Gwar-B-Q. So
hell yeah. Well, yeah. Blöthar, thank you for indulging my petty human need to see myself on the internet and speak to people much more successful than me. I appreciate it. And for those of you watching, thank you as well for checking out this stream. And for those of you who were unaware of the Gwar Scumdogs of the Universe live stream, make sure to watch that. Check it out at gwar.net this Friday, October 30th. When does that thing start? Do you know off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. I think it's 5 p.m. and then 9 p.m. I don't know numbers like that.
You know what? Just go to gwar.net. I'm sure the schedule's up there. Look at it while you're there. Buy some shit. Turn your house into a fucking neckbeard nest, of just Gwar stuff everywhere. And, enjoy yourselves. Yeah.
Yeah,
anyway.
Enjoy yourselves. The Scumdogs live event, I'm trying to find it out because of course we should have this thing, we should talk about this thing, but yes, it looks like it's October 30th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with a pre-show starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be on demand until November 15th, so you miss it at your own peril, humans.
Don't fucking miss it. That's what that translates to. In case you guys didn't know, I'm also fluent in
threat.
Yes, fluent in threat for sure. I speak threat very well. Well, Blöthar, thank you again so much for hanging out with us and answering some questions. I'll let you get back to the plans for world domination. You're almost there. Keep up the good fight, Buster.
Oh, I will. I'll take that under advisement.
Yes.
Thank
yeah.
you. Big jive turkey.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I'm Riley McShane, host of the Metal Blade live series podcast, sort of stream, and we will catch you next Wednesday.